on the conflict, the enormous needs, the colossal challenges, let me turn to Louise Eagleton. She's the Deputy Representative for UNICEF in Sudan and joins us from Port Sudan. Louise, perhaps you could help us understand what is going on with the humanitarian situation in Sudan. So many people have been displaced. So many people are hurting and suffering. Give us a glimpse of what life is like for ordinary Sudanese these days.
Well, we're facing a heartbreaking crisis here in Sudan for Sudan's 24 million children and their families. I'm here in Port Sudan, where we have many displaced, over 250,000 out of the 4.5 million displaced children who fled their homes starting from a year ago when the war broke out. They fled with nothing. They left their homes, they left everything behind. They lost friends, they lost family members, and they're in informal settlements for the last year. Their parents have lost jobs, and they're really stretched beyond any coping mechanisms. So children are going hungry, they can't get health care, schools have been closed for a year now, and the situation is just getting worse with the lean season around the corner. Right now, we have almost 4 million children acutely malnourished. The lean season is coming up, and we're foreseeing a catastrophic loss of children's lives if there isn't an immediate ceasefire here in Sudan and the situation starts to improve.
And is that the reason, with no ceasefire on the ground, is that one of the reasons aid groups are having such a difficult time getting aid to those who need it the most?
Absolutely. The ongoing fighting across the country makes it very difficult to access areas where there is active fighting, both across lines, so between going from one side to the other and getting trucks across, and also going across borders into areas like Darfur to get critical life-saving supplies across. And this is both a bureaucratic impediments that are imposed by both parties, but also lack of guaranteed safe humanitarian corridors from both sides. So we need an immediate ceasefire. We need humanitarian corridors that are negotiated from both parties and respected by both parties so we can get aid in to these children who need it most.
Has this become a forgotten conflict, if you will, with so much attention on what's happening in Gaza and what's happening in Ukraine?
Well, it definitely feels like it here in Sudan. When I speak to anyone, any child, some of the questions I get is, why does the world not care about us? The world's media, the world's attention, there's a lot happening right now, and that's understandable, and a lot of crises. But this is a scale of humanitarian disaster that is unprecedented for Sudan and has global repercussions that the world really needs to pay attention. We need a concerted, coordinated effort, international effort, to get these two parties to the table to negotiate a ceasefire and an end to this war.
And with no end in sight, this could only mean even more heartbreak and more suffering for months to come for the people of Sudan.
Absolutely. We're predicting that if with the lethal combination of displacement, of hunger, and disease outbreaks like cholera, measles, malaria, without an immediate ceasefire and without access to reach millions of vulnerable children, we're predicting a catastrophic loss of children's lives in Sudan.
And Louise, finally, why do you think it has been so difficult to reach a ceasefire?
I think the two parties are both very stuck in. Both are trying to win this war, to get it to an end through a win, and that is not a possibility in this context. So getting these parties and getting the international community and the Security Council to get these two parties to the table to negotiate this is fundamental.
All right, Louise Eagleton, thank you very much.